we wanted to show you how you could use a few of these technologies together to support not just the automation of the service fulfillment, but also to support multilingual and multicultural communities. That was around somebody that had dementia. We'll call him Brendan. He's got early stage dementia, and he's struggling to cope, but he wanted to stay in his house. It was very important for him to stay in his flat. So the council comes up with some very clever ideas to enable him to stay in his home, but his daughter's a bit concerned because she notices that his post is got the wrong flat number, and she wants to change that so that she can redirect the post to herself. In this scenario, what we're going to, the flow that we're going to demonstrate is a chatbot is going to chat to Brendan's daughter in natural language and try and understand what service it is she's required. And when it understands, it's going to ask the robot to do some work, go away and verify a PIN number. And once the PIN number has been validated, it's going to ask the robot to go away and look up the potential addresses associated with her postcode. And then once it returns the address, she'll be able to select the correct address. And once she's confirmed that, yes, she wants the address changed, the chatbot will ask the robot to make the change of address, and the robot will go into Northgate and Liquid Logic, a housing and a social care system, to make those changes. And then finally, the chatbot will ask her if she wants some evidence to confirm that the changes have been made. And really, again, this is to prevent failure demand, to prevent her calling in and checking later that the changes have actually been made. We want to proactively give her the evidence. So I'm now going to hand over to Marco, who'll display his screen and walk us through the live demo.
The demonstration uses two parts. On the left-hand side, as you see mentioned here, I have a mobile phone emulator where I could use to access this service. And on the right-hand side, you see a remote desktop of where the robot agent, or robot council officer, is going to do the work. So I'm going to start the demonstration by opening a browser, for example, and that would allow me to select the service. I'll be going to a team-packed website where we have the demo. Obviously, this could be any sort of council website where this is going to be hosted, which opens the interface, or it starts the chat box to start the work.
Mark, if I could just, I'm sorry, Mark, if I could just add, just wanted to emphasize what Marco's saying there. So what you're seeing on that rectangle on the left side of your screen is Marco's mobile phone. So as he's typing on his mobile phone, it's projecting here on the screen.
Okay. And in line with what Keith was saying, we have multiple options to run with multiple languages. Currently, on our chatbot, we can have English and Spanish. I'll carry on with English just for my benefit. And as we said, the chatbot will start with guiding me through the options to select the service. I will express what I want to do.
While Marco's typing there, I'll just point out that he's intentionally misspelling a few words, because what he wants to demonstrate is that the chatbot is smart enough to understand his intent and to figure out what it is he's asking. So the chatbot's carrying on a communication, in fairly common language, the way that a human would. It's now asked for a PIN number. It's now on the right-hand side, you see these green boxes popping up. That's where the chatbot is speaking to the robot and saying, please go look that PIN number in our access control list and tell me if it's valid. And the robot's come back and said it isn't. And then the chatbot is carrying on speaking to Brendan's daughter, explaining that she gave the wrong PIN and giving her the opportunity to get the right device. Again, it's looking up the PIN code in the access control. Okay, then so the robot has found the pin, told the chatbot, and the chatbot's now moved on to the next stage of the service and is asking Brendan's daughter for the postcode. You can just see that green box pop up on the right. That's where we've looked up the postcode in the list of valid addresses, and we've returned a series of addresses. Marco's going to skim through those and choose one he likes. And then for compliance reasons, we're just going to confirm with Brendan's daughter that, yes, you want to change this. So now I've got a confirmation in my a compliance record that I could use for reporting at a later date. This was absolutely selected by the customer. She did want to make this change. So once we have that confirmation, the chatbot turns control over the robot, lets it go ahead. So it's signed into Liquid Logic, and it's now going to look up Brendan Smith. Oh, sorry, Brandon Smith. Now that it's found him, it's going to go and start to make the change to his address. And you'll see that the box turns yellow as it's making changes, as it's marching through. It's overwriting all the data, and it's cutting and pasting data from the address file. So it's basically taking a golden source of data and updating the IT system. So there's zero chance of typo or data being put in the wrong data field. So now we've updated our social care system. We're moving on to the housing system. So we're going into Northgate, and we're going to, once again, look up Brandon's details and change the address. We intentionally had we designed the demo to update two IT systems, because one thing that we see happens time and time again, both to ourselves and when we go on and we do process observation on customer sites, is agents will do the first activity, but then forget to follow up on the second. There are just so many keystrokes that they have to deal with, and the systems are quite complex. Quite often muscle memory takes over, and as soon as they finish one thing, they're off to the next call. In this instance, you can see the robot will never forget. The robot will never skip steps. It'll always update every IT system that needs to be updated, and it'll ensure that the exact same address is put in every single one, thus cleansing the data as it's entered. So Marco's moving ahead here. So he's keeping the pace. The last thing we want to do is we're going to offer to Ms. Smith if she would like a record as evidence, or if she'd like an email with evidence that we've actually made this change. And as I mentioned earlier, this is to avoid failure demand. For me personally, when I call into a call center, quite often I'll call in an hour later, speak to a different call center agent just to check that they did what they said they were going to do, because you find that there's just so many mistakes, and it's just more often than not, it's what I found. So what we're doing is we're trying to avoid that second inbound call. We're trying to cut the costs for the operating center or the call center. We're going to proactively offer her a chance to get the evidence. So the chatbot is told the robot, go away, do some screen prints, and send it across to Ms. Smith. In this case, we don't have an email address for Ms. Smith, so what Marco did was set up a proxy. And Marco, if you can just open up those screen images, we can see that it's come through. So it's captured a screen print directly from the system. Of course, we could provide the evidence in another format, which is a convenient way of showing it.